Welcome back, everybody. In this video, we're going to take a quick look at MyOpenMath, which is the software that we'll be using to do our coursework in this course. So when you go to myopenmath.com, this should be what you'll see. If you've never used MyOpenMath before, don't worry, it's not very hard to get used to using. The first thing you'll do is click here where it says register as a new student, and then follow the directions on the MyOpenMath information PDF file that I'd posted on Canvas. Thereafter, you'll just go to here and put in the username and password you've picked out, and then click login. Once you are in, this is what you should see. Again, a good idea to get used to the layout. Remember, you won't break anything by clicking on it. So along the left side here, messages. If you wish to send a message to me, you can use this as well as using the messaging system built into Canvas. You can check your grades by clicking on Gradebook down below here, and then log out, of course, when you're finished. All right, so a lot of this is repeated across the top. You can read through that as well. There's a calendar for our course showing here kind of in the middle of the screen. As you can see on the 7th, there is something called intro. And then on the 8th, it looks like there's 8 things with an H on it. So let's see what that's about. If you scroll down, you'll see a welcome message. You can read through that. Below that, there are 2 sections. There's so far just course information and then chapter 1. As with Canvas, this has the little triangle symbol indicating that it is a section that opens. So when I click on the little black triangle here next to course information, it will expand. You'll see the syllabus, which we've already taken a look at in the last video. I've also put links to the textbook, the first 4 chapters in the first link, and then the chapters 5 through 7 in the second link. So you don't have to go back to Canvas unless you really want to. There's an assignment. Our first assignment actually is an introduction to MyOpenMath, and this one is due on Thursday the 7th. And this one is relatively straightforward. There are only a few questions, and mostly it's oriented towards getting you used to how to enter answers in MyOpenMath. So that's everything in here under course information: the syllabus, the textbook, and then this first assignment. This intro to MyOpenMath, notice it's due on Thursday the 7th at 11:59 p.m. That's what is meant here on the calendar where it says intro on the 7th. Okay, continuing onward. Next to chapter 1, whole numbers, you'll see again a little black triangle. We can click on that, which will open that group. And you can see that there's a set of sections 1 through 8 for this. The first section we'll do is 1.1, which is an introduction to whole numbers. Once again, you can click on the little triangle and that will cause that to expand. This takes you to a direct link to the textbook for this section. So you can begin by reading the section. You can click on that link, which we'll follow here in a minute, and read through that section. Following that, there's in this case 4 videos for this section. One that is a lesson about the section, and then there are 3 examples worked out. Okay, finally, there's a homework assignment for that. Let's go ahead and click on that and see what happens. Okay, so far, let's start that. It tells us what the due date is. I can click on start. And then there's questions, right? So let's try this first one. It says, consider the number 553,751. We're to write the digit for the given place value in this whole number. So the digit that is in the 10,000s place, that looks like a 5. The hundreds place, that's going to be a 7. And then let me show you what it looks like when you get one that is wrong. For the ones place, let me put another 5 for now. Okay, and then submit question. Okay, so then it tells me what my score is. I can go on to the next question. I can get a similar question, or I can retry it. So let me correct that. So this will be a 1 for the ones place. Okay, so I got the question right. If I want to navigate to a different question, up here near the top where it says question 1, there's a drop down. You can click on this triangle and then select by scrolling any of these questions that you wish to work on. Of course, it's probably easier to use this little less than greater than signs to just advance to the next question. You can answer questions in any order you want, and you can do the assignments all at once or little by little. So once you've started one, you don't have to complete it just in that one session. So for example, right now, I'm going to say, well, I'm just done for right now. So I'm going to click on done in the upper right corner. And it tells me a summary of how I'm doing so far. I haven't done a whole lot of my work. So for the assignments, you can go back and work on them anytime up until the due date. And that is not true, of course, for the tests. The tests you have to do all in one sitting, but the assignments can be done little by little up until the due date. Okay, I tried clicking on the gradebook, but it tells me I have an invalid student ID because I'm not a student, so that's fair. All right, so that's how to get into here to start the homework. The videos are here as shown. I'll leave it to you to take a look at those. Here's what the textbook looks like if I click on the textbook section 1.1. This one takes us to a PDF of this first section, so you can read through that. The version of this that is posted on Canvas and is also linked into on MyOpenMath may look physically a little bit different than this, but it has all of the same content. Okay. All right, so that takes us to the end of our kind of quick introduction to what MyOpenMath looks like. Again, I'd recommend that you play around with it, try some of the features in here, get used to opening and closing sections, make sure that you can watch a video, start a video, and let me know if you have any questions, and then have a great day.